So day 2 of the meeting between Donald Trump's Department of Justice and Ghislaine Maxwell just wrapped up. The meeting took place in the Tallahassee Federal Courthouse. Of course, Ghislaine Maxwell is serving a 20-year-plus prison sentence in Tallahassee, Florida for her conviction of sex trafficking with Jeffrey Epstein. Ghislaine Maxwell left this meeting with her attorney, David Oscar Marcus, feeling very good, very positive about the developments from this meeting with Donald Trump's Department of Justice, feeling good that there may be a pardon or a commutation or a retrial in her future. Very confident words coming from her and her attorneys following this meeting. It should be noted that Donald Trump's number 2 at the Department of Justice, who met with Ghislaine Maxwell and Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyer, a guy by the name of Todd Blanche, who's now the Deputy Attorney General, was also Donald Trump's criminal defense attorney. And Todd Blanche, Donald Trump's former criminal defense attorney, has a very close relationship and personal friendship with Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyer, David Oscar Marcus. It was also rumored that David Oscar Marcus was being considered to be one of Donald Trump's criminal defense attorneys a few years back. Now, you will recall the message yesterday posted by Todd Blanche, Donald Trump's former criminal defense attorney, number 2 at the Department of Justice, where Blanche said, "Today I met with Ghislaine Maxwell. I will continue my interview of her tomorrow. The Department of Justice will share additional information about what we learned at the appropriate time." That is already very suspicious. So is there audio recordings? Are there transcripts? Why are we not getting that information now? Also, this is not the information we are requesting. We want the files, not information from a lying sex trafficker in Ghislaine Maxwell. If anything, we want to hear from the victims. You want to hear from people like Maria Farmer and Jane Doe and other people who were actually victimized by Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Why are we putting the sex trafficking liar on the pedestal as someone who's meeting with the number 2 at the Justice Department? Now, here's how they're reporting about it on Fox, about a very positive and productive meeting by the sex trafficker, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Donald Trump's former criminal defense attorney, number 2 at the DOJ. Here's how it was reported, and you'll hear from David Oscar Marcus, Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney. Here, play this clip.
He's got the latest from Washington for us. So, David, what else did Maxwell's attorney say?
Well, he said a lot. We wish we could be in and hear what was said in the actual meeting. This meeting was a lot shorter than it was yesterday, but this was a 2-day event. The highlight, though, it appears that her team wants a pardon. Watch.
We're going to take one day at a time. I know that's very cliche, but it's true because things are happening so quickly. We haven't spoken to the president or anybody about a pardon just yet. And listen, the president this morning said he had the power to do so. We hope he exercises that power in the right and just way.
So as our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski, writes, and there it is. This whole thing reeks. If you just released all the files, the 300 gigabytes that the FBI and DOJ currently has, which we now know from the Wall Street Journal exclusive, has Donald Trump's name frickin' all over it. You don't have to make deals with one of the worst child sex traffickers in history in order to protect Donald Trump. Now, folks, I always come with receipts here at the MeidasTouch Network. So when I say that Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and David Oscar Marcus had a close relationship, here they are together on Marcus's podcast from June 2nd, 2024, talking about the close friendship and relationship they have. Here, play this clip.
But David, in all seriousness to you, I know a lot of people that have worked with you. I know a lot of people who know you very well. I now consider you a friend and someone who I know pretty well. You are by far the best out there, and I'll always say yes to this podcast.
Now, folks, you'll also recall from the Wall Street Journal's other exclusive about Donald Trump's birthday card to Jeffrey Epstein back in 2003 relating to Epstein's 50th birthday, where Donald Trump says, enigmas never age, or enigmas always stay young. And what else did Donald Trump say? Our secrets shall remain secrets forever, my friend. And Donald Trump's like, well, I've never said the word enigma before. That's just not how I talk. Well, also, We have multiple clips of Donald Trump using the word, and then we also have here Donald Trump's attorney, Todd Blanche, with Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyer back in that same podcast saying that Donald Trump is an enigma. Here, play this clip.
And he called me and we had a good conversation. I went with my wife to have dinner with him and his wife a few weeks later. And we clicked. He's an enigma. He's an interesting guy. Everybody in this country, most people in the world, frankly, have a opinion about him.
Oh, right. Now, earlier in the day, you will recall that Donald Trump stated that he was considering a pardon for Ghislaine Maxwell. Or to be fair, Donald Trump said, I have the power to do it, but I haven't thought about it. But I could do it, he says. Wink, wink, hint, hint. Here, play this clip.
Would you consider a pardon or a commutation for Ghislaine Maxwell if
it's something I haven't thought about. It's really something
recommended.
It's something I'm allowed to do it, but it's something I have not thought about.
But you wouldn't rule it out, sir?
I just want you to think about the cards that a sex trafficker, Ghislaine Maxwell, holds over Donald Trump. And I want you to think about the context here that the executive branch and the legislative branch, controlled by the MAGA Republicans, has essentially become a pedophile cover-up ring. In plain view, they are doing it. And they're meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell, and they are treating her like she's, like a foreign leader, like a dignitary or something. And you're sending your number 2 at the DOJ. Donald Trump was asked, so what are you hoping that Todd Blanche accomplishes at this meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell? And then Donald Trump says, well, you all should really be focusing on a coup by Barack Obama. He goes, Barack Hussein Obama. And he goes, you should focus on other people who were Epstein's friends. Why aren't you focusing on Larry Sumner? Why aren't you focusing on all these people? Here, play this clip.
Well, I don't know about the meeting. I know it's taking place, and he's a fantastic man. He's a great attorney, and people should really focus on how well the country's doing, or they should focus on the fact that Barack Hussein Obama led a coup, or they should focus on the fact that Larry Summers from Harvard, that Bill Clinton, who you know very well, and lots of other friends, really close friends of Jeffrey Summers, should be spoken about, because, Jeffrey Epstein should be spoken about, and they should speak about them, because they don't talk about them. They talk about me. I have nothing to do with the guy.
This episode is brought to you by IQ Bar, our exclusive snack sponsor. IQ Bar is the better-for-you plant protein-based snacks made with brain-boosting nutrients to refuel, nourish, and satisfy hunger without the sugar crash. IQ Bar's plant protein bars are packed with high-quality ingredients to keep you physically and mentally fit. IQ Bar is totally free from gluten, dairy, soy, GMOs, and artificial sweeteners for a natural anytime snack. Try any of their 9 delicious flavors, including mint chocolate chip, chocolate sea salt, banana nut, toasted coconut chip, lemon blueberry, and peanut butter chip. With over 20,000 5-star reviews and counting, more people than ever are starting their days on the right foot with IQ Bar's brain and body boosting bars, hydration mixes, and mushroom coffees. I love IQ Bar. It really keeps me at the top of my game. I know you're going to love it. Check it out. When IQ Bar sent me their ultimate sampler pack, one flavor stood out to me immediately. That was their chocolate sea salt. Obviously, these bars taste great, but the real benefit is how they make you feel. When I got my IQ Bars, I feel great. And right now, IQ Bar is offering our special podcast listeners 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus get free shipping. Now, to get your 20% off, text TRUTH to 64,000. Text TRUTH to 64,000. That's TRUTH to 64,000. Message and data rates may apply. See terms for details.
Here, Donald Trump continues to say that you should focus on Clinton and focus on all the Donald Trump goes, I have a list of people who know Epstein better than I do. You have the list of people? You have a list. Okay, where'd you get that list from? Here, play this clip.
But he's over there now. I don't know exactly what's happening, but I certainly can't talk about pardons.
Can you trust what she's telling him? She's a convicted trafficker who's eager to get out of prison.
Well, he's a professional lawyer. I think he's been through things like this before. But, you should focus on Clinton. You should focus on the president of Harvard, the former president of Harvard. You should focus on some of the hedge fund guys. I'll give you a list. These guys lived with Jeffrey Epstein. I sure as hell didn't. Thank you very much.
And by the way, you will all recall that when Ghislaine Maxwell was on her trial for sex trafficking, Donald Trump was asked if he had any messages for her. This was back in 2020, and Donald Trump said, "I wish her well." Here, play this clip.
Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison, and a lot of people want to know if she's going to turn in powerful people. And I know you've talked in the past about Prince Andrew, and you've criticized Bill Clinton's behavior. I'm wondering, do you feel that she's going to turn in powerful men? How do you see that working out?
I don't know. I haven't really been following it too much. I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach. But I wish her well, whatever it is.
So Donald Trump was then asked about it in this interview with Axios. Why would you say I wish her well? And he's like, I wish her well. That's just what I say to people. Here, play this clip.
Mr. President, the other day a reporter asked you about Ghislaine Maxwell. You said, quote, "I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, but I wish her well, whatever it is." Mr. President, Ghislaine Maxwell has been arrested on allegations of child sex trafficking. Why would you wish such a person well?
First of all, I don't know that, but I do know that
she has. She's been arrested for that. You know
her
that.
friend or boyfriend,
Epstein,
was either killed or committed suicide in jail. She's now in jail. Yeah, I wish her well. I'd wish you well. I'd wish a lot of people well. Good luck. Let them prove somebody was guilty. I mean, do you know that?
Oh, so you're saying you hope she doesn't die in jail? Is that what you mean by wish her well?
Her boyfriend died in jail, and people are still trying to figure out, how did it happen? Was it suicide? Was he killed? And I do wish her well. I'm not looking for anything bad for her. I'm not looking bad for anybody. And they took that.
And now here's a clip right here of Maria Farmer, one of Epstein and Ghislaine's victims. And here she talks about, why are you having these meetings with Ghislaine? Why aren't you having meetings with the victim? Here, play this clip.
And that's a fact. And those same Republicans want to entertain Ghislaine Maxwell, like Tim Burchett wants to entertain her and flash her around and act like we victims should not be heard from. He didn't want to speak to me. He wanted to speak to Ghislaine and give her a voice and an audience. And my little sister is one of her victims, and so am I. So
now here was the report yesterday from CNN, who talked about Maxwell returning to prison yesterday while holding a suspicious looking box. Here, play this clip.
This is video of Maxwell returning to prison just moments after meeting with Trump's deputy attorney general. And you can see her there. Actually, if you look closely, she's carrying a box of material. Now, Maxwell's attorney says she was forthcoming with every question that Trump's team threw at her today.
Now, here is Virginia Giuffre, who has since died by suicide in Australia, one of Epstein's victims. Now, she was an underage towel girl working at Mar-a-Lago after being homeless. She was 17 years old. She worked in the Mar-a-Lago spa as towel girl. Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein lived right down the block. They walked over. They saw Virginia Giuffre, underage towel girl, who was homeless, who needed money. That was Epstein's MO, and said, hey, you want to work with Epstein? And then Epstein started to sex traffic her. Here's Virginia Roberts, or Virginia Giuffre, in her own words. Play this clip.
Virginia Roberts was working in the spa at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago club in Palm Beach when British socialite Ghislaine Maxwell introduced her to multimillionaire Jeffrey Epstein.
The training started immediately. I mean, it was everything down to how to give a blowjob, how to be quiet, be subservient, give Jeffrey what he wants. A lot of this training came from Ghislaine herself. And being a woman, it kind of surprises you that a woman could actually let stuff like that happen, but not only let it happen, but to groom you into doing it. And then there's Jeffrey, who's telling you, I want it this way. No, go slower and don't do that and do this.
Now, folks, finally, it's worth noting as well this article from the Sunday London Mirror. This is from 1997. And here's how they wrote about it in 1997. How sweet, Trump's Brit of all right. Just weeks after ditching his second wife, America's best-known billionaire Donald Trump has fallen under the spell of a 20-year-old English girl, Trump 50, who has failed in his bid to secure the services of Princess Diana's butler Paul Burrell, was in search of another British trophy when he met London model Anuska DeGeorgia at a party in Manhattan. Several American millionaires already had their eyes on Anuska, but she was there with Robert Maxwell's daughter, Ghislaine, who has introduced several of her attractive friends to the property developer. Do you see what it says there in 1997? That Ghislaine Maxwell was providing several of her attractive friends to Donald Trump. And none of his would-be rivals owned a vast mansion in Florida like Donald does. Mar-a-Lago, where I have dined with him and his outgoing wife, Marla, is enough to make any young girl go weak at the knees. After their meeting, Trump flew Madam, they call her Madame, like a Madam Maxwell, like a pimp or whatever, like a Madam Maxwell, and the model south to the Sunshine State, where all three enjoyed a happy weekend together. When they returned to New York, Anuska was installed in one of Donald's many apartments. And again, I don't know if the story's real or not, but that's from 1997, saying Ghislaine was showing her attractive friends to Donald Trump. Donald Trump is close with Ghislaine Maxwell. Photo. I mean, there's so much there of them together. We'll keep you posted every step of the way. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million. Thanks for watching.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.